Hi, gang. Bob Boving here with The Mystery Project and the start of a season of Peggy Delaney, written by James W. Nichol. Peggy is a columnist on a big city daily, a dedicated journalist and fighter for the people who matter most to her, her readers. This leaves her own life approaching disarray. There are parallels between her own story and the mysteries, puzzles, and questions that lie behind her headlines. Identity Crisis, Episode 1 of Peggy Delaney, starring Kyra Harper as Peggy.
Hello there. You've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. The walls have ears. I'll get back to you. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, please feel free now. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, comp-loving, comp-hating, politically correct, reactionary, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, blue jays trashing, sycophantic, anti-establishment, crypto-Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, this is a quasi-democracy.
Hey, Peggy.
Hi there, Nick. Oh, I'm dead. What time did you leave last night?
Midnight?
Chicken.
Yeah, well, that's what I like about you, consistency. You always write a first-rate column, and you're always the last to leave any party.
Why is it I get the feeling that isn't a compliment?
The same reason I'm reduced to drinking ginger ale, I guess. I've been there.
Afternoon, Peggy. That was quite the time you people were having last night.
Newspaper people are all nuts.
Oh, you bet. So, what can I get you?
Just a coffee.
Coming right up.
What are you saying, Nick? I drink too much?
Are you going to slug me?
No.
I just don't want to see you fall off that particular cliff, that's all. It's wrecked a few careers, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm fine, Nick. Really. I am. I appreciate your concern, though. And by the way, Mr. Bauer, your career is not wrecked.
It's just stalled.
It's...
We're both reporters. We both like the truth. I'm a 60-year-old ex-drunk who used to be a foreign correspondent for some of the best newspapers in the world, holding on to a city reporter's job on the Toronto Tribulation by my fingernails. So listen to me for just 1 second. You're a high-flying columnist, and you've got a reputation to maintain as the toughest broad on the block. Don't let it kill you. End of subject.
Okay. I hear you. Thanks. I guess.
Too pushy?
You're my friend.
That's right. So, have you called her yet?
Who?
You know who. The person you've been talking about for the last 2 weeks.
I'm waiting for the right time.
There's a particular time for calling your daughter and asking her if she wants to come and live with you? How old is Amber? 14?
Uh-huh. Well, the thing is, all her friends are in East Van, and her dad and stepmom. She's lived in Vancouver all her life, so... I don't know. It was just a thought, really. I mean, that she could move here for a school term and live with me. Kind of a change. We could get to know each other. Not that I abandoned her or anything, but... Well, I see her every summer. We always go away somewhere. I fly out on holidays on her birthday, but... But she knows, and I know. My career was always first. I mean, she never says. But she has to hate me, don't you think? Somewhere down deep inside. Don't you think? I guess I feel really guilty about everything, and I don't really know what to do about it. I just know I want to do something before she's completely grown up. I'm afraid she gets to know me. I mean, really gets to know me. I'll screw it all up.
Oh.
Poor Nick. Aren't you glad you asked?
I'd like to meet him.
Yeah, well, you will. It's just... it has to be the right time.
1 coffee for Ms. Peggy Delaney.
Thanks a heap, Charlie.
Anytime.
Jesus, look at my handshake.
Mm-hmm.
It's stress. This job is going to kill me. I'm way behind. I have another deadline tomorrow. I don't have an idea in my head.
How about in your files?
Oh, I have tons of files. It's all background stuff. I need a kicker.
One of the cops at 52, one of my friendlies. Mm-hmm. You don't have any friendlies, do you?
They'll hate my guts.
Yeah, anyway. Something happened last night in Boys Town, Church and Wellesley. Mm-hmm. Just a 2-liner for the Metro News page, but maybe you could use it as a kicker into something.
Into what?
Well, how about into what you just said? Hate.
Yeah?
Tom Stanowski?
Yes?
Oh, you really did get whacked, didn't you? Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune.
Sorry, I can't talk right now.
Oh, wait, Mr. Stanowski. You don't have to talk. I know what happened. You got beat up last night by some teenagers near Church and Wellesley.
By mistake.
By mistake? You mean because you're not gay?
That's exactly right.
But they didn't know that. You're male, you were walking in the heart of the gay district. They thought it was a gay bashing.
Look, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. They jumped me from behind. I couldn't help the police. I can't help you. And I sure as hell don't want my name all over the paper. I'm not anti-gay. I'm just not gay. There's no story.
You know that old saw about man bites dog?
And what about it?
That's what this is. That's the point. The fact that you're not gay. It puts a fresh spin on things. It's sure to catch people's interest, at least for a split second. And then I can say what I want to say.
Which is?
I want to write about the kids. Why they do this sort of thing. You've had a terrifying close-up experience, obviously. Maybe you saw something in their faces.
I didn't see their faces.
But what possesses these kids? Do we inject them with some kind of poison? Is our society that homophobic? Are they scared about something? Are they just stupid? I thought maybe you'd help me.
By letting you use my name in your column?
Not if you don't want me to.
I don't.
Fair enough. Then it's strictly off the record. I promise. I give you my word.
You want to write a dissertation on gay bashing?
Not a dissertation. Just a typical Peggy Delaney rant. But my column is in a paper that has over 1.5 million daily readers. So maybe something positive could come out of all this. What do you think?
I think talking to me won't help you know any more than you already know.
You've been there. I haven't.
All right.
All right?
Yeah.
You have a nice view up here, Tom.
I suppose. Not too wide, take it for granted. On a clear day, you can see the lake.
It's too smoggy today.
Yeah.
Wow. You must be a big sports fan. Look at all these kids' pictures. Hockey teams, basketball teams, football.
And that's why I wanted to ask you in. I wanted to explain.
What?
My situation, why I have to be so... I'm a teacher. I coach.
Oh? Oh, Tom Stanowski. Now I remember. I thought your name was familiar somehow. Ossington Tech. You won all the championships.
Well, not all of them. Some of them. These are mostly championship teams.
Your name's already been in the papers. Metro high school sports lots of times.
Not this way.
Okay, so let me get this clear. You're saying...
I'm saying if my kids got wind of what happened, if they became even slightly suspicious that I might be gay... Teenage boys are really weird around this issue. Believe me, I couldn't do my job anymore.
Really? You're telling me that a gay teacher can't teach boys? Young men? How old are these kids anyway?
16, 17, up to 20 in some cases.
So they're not exactly kids.
No.
But I'm sure there's lots of gay teachers. They might not go around advertising it.
I coach, which means lots of emotion, closeness, lots of heart-to-heart talks. Kids look up to their coaches. I'm a surrogate dad for half of them. They talk to me about all kinds of problems. And then there's the locker rooms. Showers. I don't have to draw you a picture, do I?
I've never thought about it that way.
Why should you? I can tell you, no school wants to think about it that way. As far as they're concerned, all their gym teachers are straight, and please change the subject. As for parents, most of them are hysterical these days anyway. Any whisper about a faggy gym teacher, it would be...
Untenable?
Untenable. That's a good word for it. Now, that could only be Lewis. Excuse me.
Sure.
Hey, Coach. Ooh, look at you. Man, ouch.
Yeah, Lewis. I'm busy right now.
Peppy said he saw you this morning. He said you were all messed up. You're okay, though, eh? Oh, hi.
Hi.
Lewis, this is, Peggy.
Hi again.
Hi again to you, Lewis.
What do you want, Lewis?
Well, what happened?
I was in a friend's car last night, blindsided.
Man.
Yeah, the idiot in the other car, he went right through a stop sign. So, look, Lewis, I'll talk to you some other...
Yeah, but practice tonight, Coach?
We start playoffs next week, right?
Right.
Well, then why are you even asking? Of course.
The man. He's the man.
So get out of here. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Coach, I just want to say one thing.
What?
I'm impressed. Nice meeting you, Peggy.
Nice meeting you, Lewis.
Out.
Okay, Coach, I'm gone.
Every team has to have a character. He's ours. He keeps everyone loose.
He seems to think that you and I are...
I know. Well, that's just how their minds work.
You are fast on your feet.
What?
The lie.
Yeah. Sickening, wasn't it?
Tom, is it possible to get jumped by 3 kids and not see anything? You must have caught sight of at least one face.
No. It happened too fast. I was down on the ground and...
Well, what did they say to you?
What did they say? They yelled every filthy thing at me you might guess they'd yell. And then some. The power. The energy they were giving off was enormous. Terrifying. Just hate. Pure hatred.
Did you think you might be killed?
Yes. It's all perception.
What is?
A homosexual coach. No matter the reality of his conduct, impeccable, professional, there's no defense against what people might say or imagine. Is there?
Okay, thanks. I'll hold.
You look intense. That must mean you have a death grip on a column. Get in to see Stanowski.
Yeah, just a sec. Hello? Yes? I see. Okay. Thanks. Thanks a lot. What do you know? Our Mr. Stanowski. He told me he'd been over at Jarvis Collegiate last night, scouting a basketball game. Parked his car on a side street. That's why he was in that district.
Right.
Right. I was just talking to the office at Jarvis Collegiate. There were no games last night. Both gyms were dark.
Now what?
Now, I look in on an expert.
Cinderella cleaning. Oh, hello, Mrs. Ed. What? Did it hurt? Oh my God. Well, I can't think that Vincent intentionally caught your dog's tail in the vacuum cleaner, Mrs. Eddington. Maybe it liked it. No, of course I'm taking it seriously. I will. Yeah. I'll speak to Vincent as soon as he gets in. Yes? I'm so sorry. Okay, and give Spanky a pat better for me. Yes. I will. Yes, bye. Oh, Lord, look who just fell through the door.
Hi, Bernie.
Why do you insist on wearing that disgusting motorcycle jacket? And what's with the plastic earrings?
Oh, shut up.
Ooh, what have you got on under there? A silk blouse? Ooh, and tailored slacks. You look like a Bloor Street matron auditioning for a remake of The Wild One.
Ha, ha.
Other than that, you look great. So, how have you been?
Okay, how have you been?
Depressed. Can you imagine someone just opened up a topless cleaning service? How am I supposed to compete with that?
Bottomless?
Let me think about that.
I have a question for you.
I have a question for you. Have you asked her yet?
Not yet.
You said you were going to ask her a month ago.
I will. I'm just not... I'm thinking about it.
Well, there's the problem right there. Just do it. You're afraid she's going to say no, aren't you?
Yes. I'm also scared she's going to say yes.
You're all screwed up.
So are you.
You'll have to stop drinking. That's what it is, isn't it?
What if I can't?
Oh, sweetheart, you can. Of course you can. You can do anything you put your mind to.
For a few days. But I'm really scared.
Oh, God. You're not going to cry, are you?
No.
Oh, Jesus. You were the toughest kid on Sumac Street. I've seen you beat people up all my life. Anything you want to do, you can do.
I know.
I have no discretion. I'm sorry. I miss Amber, that's all. They were great days.
Which ones?
All of them. Hitchhiking out of Toronto, hitting the West Coast, the commune up in the Cowichan Valley, Vancouver.
Uh-huh.
I used to babysit her all the time. We bonded.
Uncle Bernie.
Yeah. Hey, when was the last time I saw her? 2 years ago, on one of her whirlwind visits, for lunch.
I don't want to ask her here and mess things up, Bernie. And I don't want to ask her here because I need her. It has to make sense for her, too. Or it's just plain selfish. Okay?
Okay. So, what was your question?
I don't know now. You've bummed me out.
Maybe you wanted your apartment cleaned.
I've been talking to this guy. It's a really strange situation he's in, and I have a hunch about it. I wanted to see what it sounds like to you.
Shoot.
Okay. He got jumped last night by 3 teenagers on Monteith Street.
Tom Stanowski.
What? You know him?
Mr. Coach? No. No, I don't know him. I know of him. I know Andrew, his boyfriend.
Bingo. He's gay.
Shh. No one's supposed to say he's gay. He's one of those. He's so far in the closet you couldn't find him with a flashlight.
Then how do you know?
Andrew told me. We volunteer at this AIDS hospice, and he talks about him. About how lousy it is, being the big, dark secret in Tom Stanowski's life. They've been together for years. They have a place on Monteith. That's where he was coming from last night. If someone gets jumped around here, the drums start beating, and everyone knows about it within hours.
So his secret's out.
Maybe. Some people have known about Tom for a long time, but they've gone along with it. They know his situation. He's not a bad guy. He's just a scared guy. But he's in a position to do some good, too, you know, if he did come out.
He thinks it would ruin him.
Well, of course he does. We're all freaks and queers, aren't we? Despicable human beings. And every guy in the closet confirms to Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Public that that's true. We are ashamed.
He wants me to write about it. Well, that's why he talked to me.
About what?
Gay bashing.
But leave him out of it?
Yes.
There's a certain group of people around here. They do outings. They've got a hold of this now. Andrew's out of his mind with worry. But the thing is, they found out that Tom's refusing to cooperate with the police in case they actually catch those bastards and he has to go to court and testify. So what are we supposed to do? Everyone just keeps quiet because Tom wants it that way and lets these idiot children come in here and bash us around with baseball bats every time they feel like it because they know they can get away with it.
Hi, Tom.
Oh. Hi?
I suppose you've told your whole team by now, have you?
What?
About the car accident?
Oh, yeah. Right. Look, I'm busy and
I don't have anything more to say anyway, so if you'll excuse me...
I just came to tell you, I spoke to Bernie Snyderman today.
Bernie Snyderman? Oh.
Do you know him?
I think I know of him.
He's a friend of Andrew's.
Jesus.
A lot of people are upset with you, Tom.
I know.
Hey! Tell the truth now. This comes from the Raptors, right?
Don't you wish. Hi, Lewis.
Hi. Just keeping a close eye on the coach then?
You could say that.
The practice isn't over, Lewis.
Coach, can we scrimmage now? We've only got 20 minutes left.
Yes, you run it. I want to talk to Peggy.
Can I have your whistle?
Are you happy now? Have you done your filthy goddamn job? God damn it, you put my name in the paper and I'll sue you. Oh, Jesus.
Are you okay?
No. I thought I was a tough guy. Beaten. Screaming. Boots. Spit. It was just like my nightmare for years. This nightmare I've been having.
No, I guess I'm part of it.
I guess you are. I made a decision a long time ago. School boards, parents, kids, they never accept a person like me coaching boys' sports. And I know that's still true. But I am a person like me. And I'm really tired.
Some people have been talking about outing you.
Yeah. So I've been told. It's the kids. It's always the kids. I've been proud of working with them, what I've meant to them, what they've meant to me. I can't stand to think how that will change the look on their faces.
Maybe you're underestimating them. Is that possible?
I don't know anymore what's possible. So what are you going to do?
What I said I would. Write my column, leave you out. But I have this thing about the truth. I just wanted you to know. I know.
I saw the license plate on their car. It's engraved in my brain. They'll kill someone before they're through.
They could.
Another kid was driving the car, screeched up beside me. He looked scared, too.
What are you doing?
What I should have done at the beginning, years ago. A cop gave me his card. I'm going to call. If they catch those kids, I'll testify. And I'm going out there and give the senior boys basketball team a post-practice talk they'll never forget.
You're through hiding.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to quit coaching, of course, for the kids' sakes. They'll be too uncomfortable. I can't go on doing it. Then, who'll coach my kids?
Hello?
Hi. Hi, honey.
Mom? It's not Sunday, you know.
I know, but I've been thinking. I should have asked you this a long time before. You don't suppose you'd like to come to Toronto and live with me for a school term, would you?
What?
I said, do you think...
No, I heard. It's just like it is to make the decision and not talk to me at all.
But I am. That's why I'm calling.
You never think about anybody but yourself. I can't just make up my mind like this.
I'm not asking you to.
When?
Well, whenever you want to.
Like a new school, you mean? New kids? Living with you?
Just for a few months. I really would like it. Would like you with me here for a little while. I really would.
You would?
Yes. I would.
I have to think about it.
Of course you do.
Why now?
Is it too late?
I don't know. For a whole school term?
If that's okay with you.
I have a boyfriend, you know.
I didn't know that.
Well, he's kind of stupid.
Come to Toronto, then. Would you?
I have to think about it.
I know.
Hi there, Peggy.
Hi, Charlie.
Long day, huh?
Yeah. And it'll be a long night. I still have a column to write.
Enough said. I'll bring you usual.
Charlie?
What?
Bring me a ginger ale.
You have been listening to Identity Crisis, Episode 1 of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Kyra Harper played Peggy. John Stalker was Bernie. John Winston Carroll was Nick. William Colgate was Charlie. Thomas Hoff was Tom. Jason Burke was Lewis. And Katerina Scarsone was Amber. The music was composed and conducted by Milan Kinlica and performed by David Young, Bruce Harvey, Kevin McKenzie, and Rick Whitelaw. The recording engineer was Janice Beyer. The music recording and final mix were by John McCarthy. Sound effects were by Anton Zavo. The associate producer was Nancy Dow. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell, the executive producer of the Mystery Project. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening. Hi, gang. Bob Boving here with the Mystery Project and the next episode of Peggy Delaney, written by James W. Nichol. Peggy is a columnist on a big city daily, a dedicated journalist and fighter for the people who matter most to her, her readers. This leaves her own life approaching disarray. This time, Peggy starts out chasing a story about a family winning big on a lottery. That's the upside. Then it all takes a vicious toboggan slide. Serpent's Tooth, Episode 2 of Peggy Delaney, starring Kyra Harper as Peggy.
Hello there. You've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, please feel free. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, cop-loving, cop-hating, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, crypto, Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, this is a quasi-democracy.
I've never thought of you as a swamp pig. Charging water buffalo, maybe. Anyway, that lottery case you were interested in, the preliminary hearings this aft, if you're around. How'd you find me?
Easy. You weren't upstairs in the courtroom, so where else but downstairs in the food court?
Charming.
How's Nick?
Hungry. How's Mrs. Peggy Delaney?
Still waiting.
For what? Oh. For Amber?
Yep.
She hasn't called you yet?
She hasn't made up her mind yet.
Oh. Well...
I mean, how difficult can it be? Living with me for a few months. I'm just asking her to come east to Toronto for one school term. That's all. 3 months.
She hasn't lived with you before, though. Has she? It's always been Dad and stepmom. So it's not just 3 months. You're changing the relationship. Maybe she's comfortable with you being the long-distance mum. She's come to think about you in a certain way.
That's the problem. I don't want her to think of me that way anymore. She's not giving me a chance.
She hasn't said no.
No. Because she doesn't know how to. And I'm so bloody-minded, I won't let her off the hook. Look, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay.
So, what's happening? The courtroom was empty.
Because the daughter doesn't have her defense ready yet. The judge gave her a break and put it over to August 12th. So, she still has the $3 million plus she won in the lottery. She's still refusing to share a penny of it with her parents. They're still destitute. And they're still determined to sue her for support. They're waiting to talk to you.
Who are?
Mom and Dad and assorted relatives. When I mentioned I was a Toronto Trib reporter and you may be interested in talking to them, doing a column, their lawyer allowed that might be a good idea. Same deal.
You do the hard news coverage, I do a column. And we pool our notes?
Right. But their lawyer wants to talk to you first, spin you in the right direction, I guess. Speaking of which, Mr. Lipstock.
Mr. Bauer. And this is Peggy Delaney. Of course.
Mr. Lipstock?
Well, I'm really pleased to meet you. So, what do you think? This is an interesting situation, isn't it?
What is?
The daughter, I mean. That winning that kind of money can have such a bizarre effect on a person. My clients are only asking for $2,000 a month, and only because they're in such desperate financial shape.
Maybe she hates them.
Well, if she does, they certainly don't know why. They're completely surprised, shocked, and upset by it.
She was kicked out of their house when she was 14.
Oh?
Well, that's what she claims. My clients beg to differ. They're living on public housing on family benefits of less than $1,000 a month. By the end of the month, they're living on peanut butter sandwiches and instant potatoes.
So how are they paying you?
Legal aid. No, it's the case itself that interests me. The whole question of what constitutes a family these days. What we owe each other, regardless of any circumstances. Defining obligations, I guess.
And the point where love is so mangled, obligations stop?
I guess so. Your column could address these questions about natural family obligation. Not that I'd presume to tell you what to write.
On the supposition that judges read.
Well, you never know.
Well, Mr. Lipstock, love and families, I don't know. They're not exactly my area of expertise.
Hi.
Hi. Nick Bauer, Toronto Trib.
And Peggy Delaney?
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise.
It was nice of you to wait around.
It was the least we could do. This here's my mother, Pat Watkins.
Hi, Mrs. Watkins.
Hello.
Hi there.
My old man.
Mr. Watkins?
Yep.
He hasn't worked for 8 years. Not because he doesn't want to. His back's buggered. Did it lifting cases of tomato juice. But no workman's comp, right, Dad?
Well, I tried to work, you know. Damn near killed me. Put me in the hospital.
He was in traction for 3 weeks.
You had to piss in a bottle for 3 weeks, didn't you, Dad?
Yep.
Why no workman's comp?
The same reason they give everybody. Said he didn't hurt himself on the job. So Mom babysits. What do you make on a good week, Mom? $40, $50?
Not always. Nobody has any money anymore. I do it anyway, to help out.
They've been living in the same public housing rat hole for 29 years.
It's not a rat hole, Junior. It was good enough for you kids.
Sorry. Regent Park?
I know it.
Right. Well, we all grew up there. She grew up there. Mom and Dad trying their best.
She wouldn't even look at me, you know? Up there in the courtroom?
It's pitiful is what it is. It's downright pitiful.
And who are you?
I'm Cassie, Junior's wife. I'm the daughter-in-law.
Cinderella cleaning. Good cleaning. Good afternoon.
Hi, Bernie.
Hey, sweetheart, how's my best pal?
Okay. Good cleaning, good afternoon. That's kind of lame, isn't it?
Well, I'm working on it. That's why you called. To critique my telephone answering? I don't have enough problems.
No, I just called just to say hi.
Oh. Hi.
So, I'm working on an interesting story.
Yeah?
It's about this girl who won over $3 million in the lottery.
Huh?
Her name's Ellie Watkins. She's 26 years old. And her family, who don't have any money, think she should give them a little bit of hers. So, she's busy running around getting notarized statements from people willing to say she didn't get any love from her parents since she was 14 years old. So, I guess she feels it's payback time, you know? There's a lot of that going around.
What do you mean?
Amber hasn't made up her mind yet about coming.
No? Well, I don't think you should
So anyway,
really...
you know how I said, after I asked her, I wouldn't have another drink?
How could I forget? I heard trumpets blow.
Anyway, I don't know.
What's the matter?
I'm afraid, Bernie. You can't believe how much. I want a drink.
But you can't, sweetheart. That's not the deal, and it's not a good idea anyway, is it?
No.
No, you wanted to prove to yourself you could do it, right?
Right.
And you can. You can, right?
Uh-huh.
Good. So, you want to hang out this aft?
I'm on my way to talk to this girl's mother.
Here's that, Pop.
Oh, great. Thanks, Emil. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that.
That's all right. We're not asking for a mill, you know. I wouldn't ask for anything if it was up to me. Glass?
Nope. It's okay. Mrs. Watkins, your daughter says she was kicked out. She lived in stairwells and abandoned buildings. She tried to come back home, and your husband broke 2 of her teeth.
Ellie says a lot of things. Sometimes I think she really believes them. She says them enough.
Not true?
She ran away. Every night, Junior and his friends looked for her. Found her, too, on Yonge Street. That was her new home. It's exactly what she said to me, sitting right there where you're sitting now. And that bunch of street kids she ran with, that was her real family. We weren't her real family anymore. She'd still come back here, though, when she was hungry or sick or there was a blizzard outside. She'd sleep right where you are, too. Her hair all tangled and dirty. I'd try to keep her here. I'd talk my face blue. I'd cry, you know. But she'd lift a few dollars from my purse or her dad's pocket and back to Yonge Street.
The teeth?
Oh, she broke a couple of teeth, all right. I don't even want to think how that might have happened, but it wasn't her father. That much I know.
Oh, that was a long time ago now. Over 12 years. This is a terrible mess, isn't it? For you and your family. What are you really feeling, Pat? What do you really want to have happen?
I don't know. I think if she'd just come round and say she was sorry for all the things she said. And if she could just say, I love you, Ma. I think that's all I want, really. That's all.
That's all? That's bullshit, Mom. What do you mean, that's all?
I didn't know you were here.
We were just in the kitchen. How didn't you know?
Well, I just didn't, that's all.
Oh, God, it's not like it's some big place.
Bullshit, Mom. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. She owes you plenty.
You'll wake your father.
I don't care. The thing here is, my mother's too good. That's the problem. She doesn't know how to speak for her rights.
That's absolutely the truth.
Ellie's got $3,600,000.
Think of the interest she's making on that. Never mind the rest of it.
It makes me sick. I don't care if she don't give a friggin' cent to us. Put that in the paper.
It's not for us. It's for Mom and Dad.
How can she be so goddamn cold? That's what I'd like to know.
I guess they've gone.
It is so.
It hurts, what your daughter is doing.
Uh-huh.
It's not the money.
No. I've lost my daughter. You don't really know what... You don't want to think about it. Maybe it's not true, you know? Maybe you can still be friends and something happens. Like this, and then you know.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, honey. It's me.
Oh. Hi, Mom.
Hi. I was I was at the office, so I thought I'd call.
I haven't decided yet. I'm still not...
No, that's all right. That's why I'm calling, really. I've decided. It's crazy to ask you to come down here and leave all your friends and go to a new school and everything, just because I thought it was a good idea. Obviously, it's not, and I don't want you to worry about it anymore. So, forget it.
Now you want me to forget it?
Mm-hmm. I've got a better idea. Remember how we've always talked about taking that boat trip up past the Queen Charlotte Islands? Let's do that. I'll book for August, and we'll cruise up the coast for 6 days instead, okay?
Okay.
Great. Great, then. So, anyway, I'm busy, honey. I have to go now. I'll call you Sunday.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
So, how did your talk with the Watkins go?
What?
The Watkins?
I let her off the hook.
Who? What? Amber?
Mm-hmm. She sounded happy.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Ellie? Ellie Watkins?
Yes?
I buzzed at the front, no answer. Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune.
How did you find me?
Asked your lawyer. He thought it might be a good idea. I was supposed to call first, but... Whew, you really do have a gorgeous house. Look at these grounds. Oh, and a fountain. You know you got it made when you got a water fountain with a naked boy in the middle.
I'm sure you're aware that this is private property.
Yes, I am. But I've talked to your parents.
Oh?
So I thought it was only fair to talk to you as well. But you go on with whatever it was you were doing. What were you doing?
Nothing much. Just walking around.
Court's not much fun, is it? It drags everybody down.
Yes, it does.
You know, your mother's proud of you. Well, who wouldn't be? On the street at 14, back to school at 16. Well, how did you live, by the way?
Student welfare.
Graduated from high school. Can I ask you a question?
What?
What happened way back then? To hear your family tell it, you just ran away.
I know.
Your mother, whatever you think, she does love you, you know.
Oh.
That's a joke?
You tell me. Anyway, there's no answer.
To what?
To why I'm saying no to them. There's no logical reason. Something broke.
Broke?
I can't reach it with my mind, with my logic, you know. I mean, logically, what's the difference? I've got plenty of money. And like you said, it all happened a long time ago. But when your parents, when they reject you, I mean profoundly reject you, something gets broken too deep inside, and you can't touch it, and it won't heal. And so you say no. All you can do is say no.
What was it?
It doesn't matter now.
Of course it does. It matters. Can't she make it up to you, ever?
You don't understand.
But I was talking to her. She doesn't want any money. She just wants...
Junior does. My brother? After I refused to give them anything, he said he wanted $1.5 million, or he'll come over here one night when I'm all alone. And I am all alone, and...
And what?
And he'll slit me open from my crotch to my neck. And those are his words, not mine.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, now you've got some news, right?
Have you told the police?
No.
Your lawyer?
No. I mean, what good would it do? He hasn't done anything yet. And if I did tell, that might just be enough to make him go crazy.
Maybe he's just shooting his mouth off.
No. No, I've seen him like this before. I know what he gets like. He wants $1.5 million, that's all. Or he'll kill me. And I refuse to give it to him.
Then why don't you just go away somewhere?
Why do you think he's got me in court? Because he wants to hold me here. And I am here. And if I go away, what am I going to do? Jump at every shadow the rest of my life? He's not dumb, you know. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking he's dumb. He'll find me.
What about your parents? They're in court asking for $2,000 a month. They don't know about this.
I don't know what they know, what they don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to them in 12 years.
Can they calm Junior down?
I have no idea.
Well, maybe they should find out what he's up to. It's no good keeping quiet about this. Here, I'll show you something. You see this?
What is it, a tape recorder?
Uh-huh, right. And this little device, the wire plugs into the tape machine, and at the other end is this mic. You just stick it on the telephone receiver, and it picks up both ends of the conversation. I use it all the time. Ellie, if you called your brother, say from a payphone on a busy corner so he can hear the traffic going by, you say you just had to phone because you're upset.
I am upset.
Do you suppose he might make a threat we could record?
No, he's too smart to threaten on a phone.
But if you were obviously on a payphone?
God. I'll try.
Oh, it's you?
Hi, Pat. You alone?
No. Junior's here.
Oh. Well, maybe that's a good thing.
What is?
To get things out in the open. What's really happening about Ellie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the problem.
Oh? Well, don't just stand out there.
Okay.
Who was that?
It's just,
It's me.
Hey, how are you?
Where is everybody?
It's just us.
Oh.
So? You writing a column?
I talked to Ellie.
You did?
Uh-huh. And I found out something very interesting. I just wanted to tell your mother, Junior, that you are making very ugly criminal threats to your sister.
What? The hell?
You want to reconcile with her, Pat? There's no chance with this.
Are you nuts? If you believe anything she says...
Ellie called you at your apartment this afternoon, right? Nice conversation you had with her. Something about $1.5 million or you'll inherit it all as next of kin.
Oh, bullshit.
I taped it. You want to hear it? There's already 5 copies. Do you want to hear it, Pat?
You get out of my house.
I thought you should know. How are you and Ellie going to make it up?
Make it up? Up? With that piece of garbage? I wouldn't spit on her. You talked to her, eh? I'll bet you did. Well, I'll tell you what she was really like. 13 years old, she was running around with a bunch of druggies, punks, twice her age. She was being screwed by every lowlife in Regent Park. Bloody disgrace to her father made me a laughingstock we couldn't show our face.
Oh, so what did you do to her, Pat? What did her father do? He knocked out her teeth, didn't he?
He did what he had to do. He was trying to knock some sense into her. She had it coming. So she takes off, never comes back. Like we're not here, like we fell off the earth or something. A few years later, Junior goes into this restaurant. There she is, big as life. She's running the place. She still wants nothing to do with us, talks about us like we're dirt. But Junior keeps his eye on her. She wins the lottery. He says, why don't you help them out? She says no. He asks again, anything to help. She says no. No. We talk to a lawyer, talk to her, no. Take her to court, no. It's always no. It's like we don't exist. It's like we aren't here. So we make sure she damn well knows we're here. $1.5 million, and she knows we're here.
So you knew what Junior was doing. And everything you said to me, it was all a con.
You stupid bitch. It's not a con. It's my life.
I was only kidding her. That tape, it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
You better get out of here.
So she knew all along, huh? Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
She talked about drugs. Lowlifes. A 13-year-old girl, everybody's girlfriend.
Did she?
What's the truth, Ellie?
I had a friend. He ran with kind of a crazy crowd. They were all black kids. I loved him.
Junior's gang beat the hell out of him. My father beat the hell out of me. That's all. It was like dying. And I left.
And your mother? What did she do?
She didn't do anything.
One more Peggy Delaney regular
Thanks, Charlie.
with a fresh twist of lemon on the side.
Feels good. Oh, it's been a long, long day, Charlie. Do you have any kids?
Oh, you bet.
How many?
Oh, let's see. 7.
7? Jesus, you should learn to control yourself.
You're right there.
I bet they're all great kids, though.
Well...
I bet you're good to them, too. I only have one, a daughter. There's all kinds of ways to hurt a kid. You don't have to leave any marks. Sometimes you can do it long distance. Can't you, Charlie? I know. Poor little Sammy. Poor Sam. He's hungry. Oh, messages. Hold on a sec. I'll get you.
Hey, I've been looking all over for you ever since you called. Anyway, obviously, I couldn't find you. You okay?
No.
Call me, all right? As soon as you can, please. I'll be waiting.
God, you're not there? It's after 2 your time, isn't it? Look, I don't know why you think you can just tell me what to do, like I don't have any brains or anything. You're always doing that. So, I was talking to my friends, and they think I should come. So, I'm gonna come. I want to, I think. So, call me so we can arrange times and stuff, okay? Okay. Bye.
Oh, God.
You have been listening to Serpent's Tooth, Episode 2 of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Kyra Harper played Peggy. John Stalker was Bernie. John Winston Carroll was Nick. William Colgate was Charlie. Michael Caruana was Junior. Joanne Vanicola was Cassie. Terry Tweed was Pat. Don Dickinson was Ed. Amberly Weston was Ellie. Sam Malkin was Mr. Lipsock. And Katerina Scarsone was Amber. The music was composed and conducted by Milan Gimlica. The recording engineer was Greg DeClute. Sound effects were by Drago Grandich. The associate producers were Nancy Dow, Leanne McDonald, and Sandra Breutman. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell, the executive producer of the Mystery Project. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening. Hi, gang. Bob Boving here to open the door to the Mystery Project. Our series is Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. These are stories of a newspaper columnist who finds much of what she writes about find echoes in her own life. This time, Peggy comes close to being a stalker to follow a story and looks for ways to change things before the headlines break. Episode 3 of Peggy Delaney, Crossing the Line, starring Kyra Harper in the title role.
Hello there, you've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. The walls have ears. I'll get back to you. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, please feel free. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, cop-loving, cop-hating, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, crypto, Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, this is a quasi-democracy.
Hello? Peggy Delaney. Why haven't you called? Call, please. 743-2810. It's about the fires.
Oh!
What?
I don't like it.
What?
It stinks.
What now?
This color, it's too avocado.
You picked it out.
It'll look better in the store. Amber will hate it.
It's fine.
It's too dark. It'll be like living in a cave. It'll depress her.
Depress her?
Yeah.
You want to see depressed? I've bought sheets, bedspread, pillow slips, everything to go with this color. The lampshade.
I'm taking this paint back. They can remix. 2 shades lighter.
I can't stand it.
What?
Everything.
She's not even here yet.
I should have left her room the way it was. A futon and a sleeping bag.
Oh, well, that was okay, I guess, when she visited you for 3 or 4 days. But she's coming for what? Till Christmas. 4 months. It's a long time for your daughter to be curled up in a futon like little orphan Annie.
The point is, that's the way she liked it. And now I'm changing everything. I'm making her visit into some big deal. It's like after all these years of being this long-distance mom, I want something more, you know? I'm putting pressure on her, and she'll sense that right away. Going back to the paint store, huh?
Yeah?
Can I come?
No.
Hello?
Hi, this is Peggy Delaney from the Toronto Tribune. I received some calls.
Oh,
So, are you the person who called?
yes.
Oh, well, I'm sorry you had to leave so many messages. I've been taking a few days off. So, that last message, you said something about the fires? Hello?
Yes?
Are they the fires I think they are? The garage fires?
Yes.
Are you still there?
Mm-hmm.
I'll come over now. I'll be by myself.
Yes.
So, Mrs. Miles.
I can't believe it. Peggy Delaney is sitting in my living room.
Big as life. Well, as you can imagine, I get a lot of calls, most of them from the planet Mars. But you seem to me to really...
Can I get you something? Tea?
Oh, no, thanks.
Coffee?
No, I'm fine.
A drink, maybe. Sherry?
Okay.
2 sherries.
So, first question. Can I assume you're not the person setting the garage fires?
No. Of course not.
I didn't think so.
Peggy Delaney. Do you have a family?
Uh-huh. A daughter. She lives with her dad and stepmom in Vancouver.
There you are.
Oh, thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, how about you?
Me? Yes. Me. I have 1 son. His name is Sebastian. He's very bright.
Uh-huh.
He's very gentle. So gentle, like a lamb. He's a good person.
Mm-hmm. And your son, Sebastian, he knows something about the fires?
I look for your column all the time. I read it all the time.
Thanks. And does he know something?
He lives downstairs. Some nights, Sebastian never comes home. He says he's in love. Some woman somewhere. I used to wash his clothes. Now he washes them. So I wait until he goes to work. And I go down there and smell them. You must think, this insane woman, this mother, going down and smelling her grown son's clothes. But I do. And sometimes heavy, oily, dirty smoke, even on his dressing gown, slippers.
Oh, well, Mrs. Miles, maybe since he lives downstairs, it's fumes from the furnace.
He lives like a hermit.
Well, I thought you said he goes to work.
He gets called in sometimes. This company that installs carpets. He graduated from the University of Toronto, but there was no work. He's 31 years old now. He sleeps most days. He walks around the block. I make him eat properly. I insist. And he sits there, miles and miles away.
You know, it might be just your imagination about the garage fires. It's okay. I mean, I'm not disappointed.
When he was little, after his father died, maybe he was 5 or 6 years old, he started to set fires.
Oh.
I thought he was sad, you know, and he stopped after a little while. His father would crinkle up that silver paper inside his cigarette pack. Have you ever seen that done? You light it on fire and turn out all the lights, and it sparkles all over and glows in the dark like 1,000 tiny fires. He would say, "We're sitting high on a hill, Sebastian, looking down at a city." And Sebastian would stare and stare, and you could see the glow of the city reflected in his eyes. And his father would say, "It's a city on fire."
Her name is Luna.
Sounds like it.
Luna Miles. She's Portuguese. Parents brought her here when she was a little girl. Married an older guy. When he died, raised her son on his life insurance proceeds. Working in a bindery and carving her house up into apartments. And she believes in me.
I rest my case. You're dealing with a fruitcake.
She's not a fruitcake. She's one of those mothers so wired into her kid. She's like a tuning fork. Those mothers always know. And anyway, I went downstairs with her, into his place. It was kind of weird. There were notebooks all over, you know, like school scribblers. He's filled up piles of them. It looked like a kind of manifesto, or like Marx's Das Kapital. All about social organization and economics and the role of labor in a post-revolutionary world. I smelt his clothes, too.
You know what we're discussing here? The twilight of the free press.
She was right. There was a kind of heavy, smoky smell. And gasoline.
So you think you've got the guy the whole city's looking for. The garage burner, an exclusive. Maybe you'll even get on hard copy.
What's the matter with you?
What did you promise her?
The best lawyer I can find, paid for by the Trib. And that the coverage, at least in our paper, will be understanding.
For which?
She and her son only talk to us. Of course, I have to confirm that he is the garage burner.
And how are you going to do that?
Go undercover. What? I've done it before.
Sure.
Are you in?
No, I'm out.
Why?
Because you know you can't control what happens to her son. Once you expose him, you're lying. Because you're buying a story. And because we're supposed to report the news, not make it.
They like it upstairs. If we don't get something sensational into this paper soon, we won't have to worry about...
Because it's about Peggy Delaney, right in the middle of things, not through analysis and insight and biting commentary, but through some cheap two-bit scoop about catching a firebug. You'll be half the news story itself. Just one more cheap media huckster. I thought you were better than that.
Why am I here?
Because Nick wouldn't come.
No, I mean, why would I? presumably in my right mind, say yes to sitting in a car in the middle of the night watching a house of someone I don't know on the remote chance that someone else I don't know does something I don't want to know about?
It's only midnight.
Ah, thank you. Oh, it's fair.
Nick is a dinosaur. Once upon a time, he was a top political reporter for the New York Times, stationed in Paris. He doesn't realize times change. People don't read for information. They consume for emotional jolts. Television's turned us all into junkies. I love him and respect him. He's probably right. I don't know what I'm doing. Is that all you can say?
No, I can say, in what particular area of your life do you not know what you're doing now?
Here, this. What if it is him? What if he is a pyromaniac? He's burned down over 30 garages, cars, sheds. He's almost killed people. They'll eat him alive. I can't help him.
Oh, I don't know. If it is him, just finding and stopping him, that's helping him, isn't it? Meanwhile, you got a hell of a story. On the other hand, of course, he could be just some poor schmuck who wanders around with a very peculiar B.O. problem. How do we even know he's in there?
Because his mother called me.
So we just wait here, and pretty soon he'll come out with a can of gasoline and a pack of matches. Is that the idea?
What do we know? There's been at least one, sometimes two fires set each week for the last 5 months.
Will you blow that smoke out the window? You're giving me secondhand cancer here.
Always in the same general area. The cops have set up a special task force.
So how does he continue to get away with it?
Well, I don't know. I know when. Between 2 and 4 in the morning. So relax. It's going to be...
No. Who's that?
What? Who?
That guy. There. He just came out of the house.
From the door at the side?
Yeah.
What do you know? That's Sebastian.
Come in. Come in.
He's still not home yet?
No. Oh, you look so tired.
I was up all night.
Sit down. Please. Would you like a sherry?
Yeah. So, like I told you on the phone, we followed him.
Yes?
He took a bus up Greenwood to Gerard. He was carrying a kind of overnight bag.
His black and white shoulder bag. He carries it all the time. Here you are.
Oh, thanks. The thing is, he got off the bus and walked a couple of blocks off Gerard into this residential area. And into this rooming house.
Rooming house?
Yeah. Well, there's lots of them. All through that whole area. Pay by the week, get a room and a hot plate.
But he doesn't need a room.
I watched all night. He didn't come out. Luna, this is what I'm thinking. There's rooming houses scattered all through that area. Is it possible?
Oh, my God.
What?
It's Sebastian.
Mom? Did that book I sent away for... Oh. Hello.
Hi.
Sebastian, this is
Mary Brown. I'm collecting for the Salvation Army. Red Shield.
Oh.
And having a glass of sherry, which I don't get to do in every house. Good thing, too. Anyway, I was just going.
I was telling her all we can afford to give goes to Sacred Heart.
Which is absolutely understandable.
The Salvation Army.
That's right.
They do good work. I've always admired them.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I don't mind donating some time.
They care about people.
Mm-hmm.
In jail, on the streets, in hospitals. They're not afraid to go where the people need them.
No.
Anyway, I'll be downstairs, Mom. Bye.
Bye. All right, dear.
So, that's Sebastian.
That's Sebastian.
What time is it?
3:15.
Oh, God. I want to go home.
Well, you can't.
Why?
Because, as I explained last night, it's too dangerous to be sitting alone in a car in the middle of the night. I need a man.
Yeah, but I'm gay.
That's no excuse. Besides, the fires are always set between 2 and 4. At 4:15, we can go home.
Hello? There's not a light on in the place. He's asleep. Everyone in the rooming house is asleep. Everyone in the street. Everyone in the city except us.
Hello, folks.
Oh, hi, officer.
Is there a problem?
No, why?
You've been sitting here for a while. It's past 3 a.m. Just wondered.
Have you been watching?
I noticed.
No, everything's fine. We're just talking.
I think she's getting up the nerve to sexually molest me.
Uh-huh. Good night.
That was stupid.
Sleep deprivation. I'm hysterical.
Where'd he come from? They don't patrol on foot. Where's his cruiser? I bet he's part of the fire detail.
Then why doesn't he watch the house and we can go to bed?
Okay, he's gone. Why don't you open the glove compartment? There's a bottle in there.
Oh, yeah?
Just open it, okay? I'm dying of thirst here. What are you looking at me like that for?
I thought you said, since Amber's coming to visit, we're trying to get off the stuff.
So sue me. Open the glove compartment, would you please? It's my car. All right,
No. I'll do it. Here. Gilby's finest.
Thanks. Want a drink?
No.
Oh. There. Okay?
Okay, what?
Sometimes, Bernie, you can be such a shit. Okay, you can put it back now if it bothers you so much. It's hard, Bernie.
I know.
I can't quit. It doesn't work. I stop for a few days, and I get drunk. And I feel guilty. Terrible. I swear I'll never drink again, and it lasts for a few days, and I get drunk, and it all starts all over again.
Sweetheart.
So I've put myself on this rigid schedule. Nothing but fruit juice and coffee in the mornings, no matter how, well, like I might be shaky. One drink at noon, one after work, one before supper, one after, and one before I go to bed. And that's it. It's working.
Great. As long as it's working.
Yeah.
Of course, you just broke your schedule now. Sorry. Sweetheart, you can't beat it alone.
I know this guy. I know all about him.
What guy? The garage burner?
Uh-huh. There's this line you cross in your mind, somewhere inside. You can't get back. No matter how you try, you just can't get back.
Well, not by yourself. That's why you
Oh,
need...
God!
Oh, God, what?
Crouch down. See him?
Where? Is that him?
Yeah, he just came out.
What's he carrying?
A garbage bag. He's in his slippers. A house coat.
He's just looking for a garbage can.
That's what you're supposed to think.
He's looking this way.
All around. He didn't see us.
Where's he going?
Around behind. There's a lane back there.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know.
You don't know? Don't you have a plan?
No. Go tackle him.
Me? Tackle him?
Go on.
No, you tackle him.
Barney!
No, look, I don't do tackles. I'm sorry.
It was a great fire.
Was it?
Double garage, a pickup, and a Toyota.
And the perpetrator?
I haven't said anything to anyone yet. I haven't slept yet.
You better get on it before he sets another fire. And you become an accessory.
Yeah. Nick, you were right. Once I go to the cops and break the story, then TV, newspapers, everybody's going to go into a feeding frenzy. That poor woman.
Uh-huh. Of course, you knew that, didn't you? Look, It was inevitable anyway.
What?
A great big mess. For her. But you can help. Talk to him yourself. Get him to go to the police. No takedowns. No risk of anything going really wrong. If you can get him into custody in one piece, then that mother will have a lot to thank you for.
Oh, yeah. I was going to do that anyway.
Good. Make sure you get the brass upstairs to send along a lawyer.
I don't want to spook him. I'll see him first.
Alone. Is that a good idea?
That's what I promised her. At least I could stick to my deal.
Are you comfortable?
Uh-huh.
That chair has a spring loose.
No, it's fine.
Okay. You saw me then?
Yes.
How did I look?
Dressing gown, slippers, gasoline, I guess, and a garbage bag.
Oh.
Sebastian, it's all over.
I know.
I'm going to try. I mean, really, really try to see that you get the very best representation. My paper will pay for it. And also, the help you need. You do know you need help, don't you?
When a society is morally bankrupt, it needs to be burned down. You do know that, don't you?
Is that what those fires are really about? Setting garages on fire? I wonder if that's all you're feeling inside.
How would you know what I'm feeling inside?
I might. Just a little. Some compulsion, maybe. Some distraction from pain, maybe. Some excitement.
All this keeps me very busy, you know. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 different rooms going at the same time. I have to sleep in each one a few times to establish normalcy, so people get used to me, you see? And after the fires, I always go back to the same place a few more nights. Then I just fade away, like people fade away in those places, like faded figures on old wallpaper. Sometimes I wake up, I can't remember my name. When I set a fire, then I feel alive. More alive than anyone in the world. But soon afterwards, pieces fall off, little by little, and I lose myself again. I have to go upstairs, sit at the supper table, so my mother will call me by my name. I'm reduced to just a sore, this itch, and it hurts. It hurts until I start another fire, and then it doesn't. And then it does. And I have to do it again.
You're lucky, Sebastian. Because you can stop now.
Yes.
Amber! Amber!
Oh, hi, Mom.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh, it's good to see you. Look at you.
You're killing me.
Sorry. It's just, I'm so happy, that's all.
So, I've asked around, got appointments with 3 schools. Oh. Hello?
Peggy,
Oh, hi, Nick. What's up?
thought you should know. Sebastian Miles somehow got away today at his bail hearing.
Oh?
Yeah. Just long enough to set another fire?
Mom, watch out! God, what's wrong?
Oh, nothing. Sorry.
Watch where you're going.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
crying?
No. I'll be all right. Just work. Just about this crazy person. You can't stop.
What?
Lighting fires. Oh. It's too strong. It's just too strong.
You've been listening to Crossing the Line by James W. Nichol. Featured in the cast, you heard Kyra Harper as Peggy, Katerina Scorsone as Amber, J.W. Carroll as Nick, John Stalker as Bernie, Marcia Bennett as Luna Miles, David Storch as Sebastian Miles, and Roy Lewis as the cop. The music was composed by Milan Kimlicka and conducted by Bruce Harvey. The performers were David Young, Kevin McKenzie, and Rick Whitelaw. The recording engineer was Greg DeClute with sound effects by Drago Grandich. The associate producer was Leanne McDonald. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell, the executive producer of the Mystery Project. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening. Hi, gang. Bob Boving with you to turn the pages of The Mystery Project. Our series is Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Any big city newspaper columnist tries to believe they have a handle on their life, on their city, and on their feelings. But this time, Peggy finds fear sitting next to her, and in her efforts to battle it, discovers, graphically, that other people live with it to the end of their lives. Episode 4 of Peggy Delaney, My Brother's Keeper, starring Kyra Harper in the title role.
Hello there. You've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. The walls have ears. I'll get back to you. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, please feel free. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, cop-loving, cop-hating, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, crypto-Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, this is a quasi-democracy.
Hi, Peggy. I think you're great. I bet you don't know what I'm doing now.
Morning, Miss Delaney.
Hi, Nick.
Just reading the competition.
Did you buy it or steal it?
Bought it.
Oh, yeah? I always line up behind somebody else and grab the door before it springs shut. That way I can read the other paper and drive them into bankruptcy at the same time.
I can see it's going to be a long day.
Just checked my voicemail. My breather's back.
No kidding. Morning, Peggy.
Hi, Charlie.
And what can I get you this morning?
Oh, just orange juice.
Okie dokie.
And a glass of water to watch out my ears.
Oh, you bet. A little sloppy, was he? The breather?
Not to mention demented. What is it with men?
Meaning?
Meaning, why would he want to do something like that? I don't get it. Women don't do things like that.
So, how's Amber?
You're not answering my question.
That's because there isn't an answer. Men just do things. It's called the residual reptilian brainstem, I think.
Great.
So how's Amber?
Terrific.
How long has she been here now? And why haven't I met her?
A couple of weeks. Long enough to celebrate her 15th birthday. And you will.
Make you feel old?
Nope. Makes me think of all the things I've missed, though.
So, you can make it up.
In 4 months. She's going back to Vancouver at Christmas. She has a gold stud in her nose.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's no big deal, but it's one of those things I've missed, you know? Like her coming to me and saying, "What do you think, Mom? Do you think I should get a gold stud?"
What makes you think she'd have asked you in the first place? I bet she didn't ask her stepmom.
I bet she did. But you're right. She doesn't talk to me. Not really.
I thought it was all right at the time. A civilized career arrangement. I was always around, birthdays, holidays, as much as I could be, but I think she thinks I abandoned her. And in a way, she's right. I did. I feel, whenever I look at her, I just want to hug her forever and bawl my eyes out. So between the two of us, it's kind of weird.
Sounds like it's going to be a fun 4 months.
Mr. Bauer, there's a call for you.
Okay. I'll be right back.
And a special Peggy Delaney orange juice for you.
How many shots in there? 1 or 2?
2.
Oh, good. I look that bad, huh? Breakfast. Oh, we gotta stop doing this, Charlie.
Anytime.
Okay. See you later. Have to leave.
Oh, what's up?
Why?
I don't have a column yet.
Oh, it's just another one of those wacko husbands. Did his wife in. Great to be working the city beat, isn't it?
I'll come with you.
Never could understand why they use the siren when the person's dead. What's the rush?
Where are the kids?
A sister-in-law's place.
A neighbor told me she saw the 2 of them go screaming up the street.
Uh-huh. A 7-year-old boy, 4-year-old girl.
There's blood all over.
Uh-huh. Look, there's no column here for you, is there? Why don't you...
I'm all right. I'm a newspaper reporter, for God's sakes. I've seen worse. What was that cop telling you?
Same old thing. The husband, one Ted Appleby, wasn't supposed to be anywhere near her. She had a court order. He'd assaulted her pretty badly a year ago. So he drags her out of the house. The 2 kids chasing him. Slits her throat right here on the front lawn. And waits for the cops.
Uh-huh. Look, I think I'm going back to the office. Amber? Amber, are you in here? Amber!
Hi, Mom.
Oh, hi. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? You have to lock the door when you're in the apartment.
Sorry.
When you leave, you lock the door. When you come back in, you lock the door. You lock it.
Okay. What's wrong with you, anyway?
You want a coffee?
No.
Anything?
No.
Oh, maybe I'll just have something cold.
Maybe you should have a herbal tea or something. How come you're home anyway? I thought you said that...
I got worried about you going down to the beach alone. I was just down there. I couldn't find you.
Going to the beach? Mom, it's 2 blocks. You live on the beach.
I know. I saw something this morning, and I just wanted to make sure you were all right. That's all. Call me stupid. I've got breathers. I've got dead people there. What's that?
What?
That. My God, someone's in our bathroom.
Oh, that. That's just...
Oh, hi.
Wedge.
Wedge?
This is my mother, Peggy Delaney.
Very nice to meet you, ma'am.
Where did he come from?
Vancouver.
Oh? When?
About 5
just a
days
while
ago.
Oh. So I suppose, obviously, you 2 are friends?
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna, talk to you.
When? So, where have you been staying, Wedge?
On the beach.
Cinderella Cleaning, your spill is our thrill. Oh, hello, Mrs. Zayavsky. Wednesday? I thought the party was... Oh, it's 3 days earlier now. How could you do this to me? No, I'm just kidding, Mrs. Zayavsky. No, I'll send Raymond and Larry over there first thing tomorrow. I love you, too. Bye-bye. Oh, look, it's Mother Goose.
Shut up.
Suddenly, I have a premonition things aren't going too well.
Things are fine.
Good.
Mr. X has shown up.
Pardon?
This stupid, hulking 16-year-old ex-boyfriend from Vancouver with 2 gold studs in his nose has followed Amber here.
Uh-oh.
He's been sleeping out on the beach. Apparently he can't live without her.
Oh.
I heard you.
So, did you know about this, what's his name?
Wedge.
Wedge?
I knew she had this boyfriend, but I haven't seen her for about a half a year, you know. I mean, what's she going to tell me on the phone? What's she going to tell me anyway?
Oh, come on.
She just said she had a boyfriend, but they broke up. It didn't sound like any big deal, at least not to her. But apparently it's a big deal to him. He's been sleeping on the beach for 5 days. She's been feeding him.
Maybe she figures if she's nice to him, he'll go away.
I drove him over to Covenant House. They'll give him a bed there, and maybe they can get him emergency welfare for a few days. But he says he can't live without her. He said that to me. And then his eyes went kind of hooded. Give him a job.
Pardon?
Give him a job. So he has some place to go. So I know where he is during the day, so I don't worry myself sick, okay? How do I know he isn't unbalanced? How do I know he's not one of these guys that, if he can't have Amber, then nobody will?
You're being ridiculous. You don't know that. You don't know anything about him. He's probably just this big, goofy kid.
I know. But look at me. I'm a basket case. My nerves are shot. If anything happened to her...
Okay. I'll give him a job. This is just ordinary, everyday parent stuff, you know? You're just not used to it. Parents think about these improbable scenarios all the time. It goes with the territory.
Uh-huh.
Basket case, eh?
Hi, Nick.
Peggy?
Look, I'm sorry I cut out of there this morning. Wasn't very professional of me, but I thought I was going to lose my cookies.
Well, that's okay.
I want to follow that story up.
Why?
To prove I can. And, well, reptilian brainstem, it's just not good enough, is it?
Good for you.
So what's going on so far?
Nothing much. The guy's in jail. They'll be taking him over to the Clark for psychiatric assessment later today. But you won't get near him. Nobody will. Probably for years. His brother, by the name of Lance Appleby, apparently he's a bartender at Isaac's over on Yonge.
I haven't been in there for a while.
Well, he showed up just after you left. At first, he just stood there, like he was in shock. Then he collapsed, you know, fell right over. Then one of the boys from TV News tried to help him up and get him on camera at the same time. You know TV. Tell us how you feel. He went berserk. Tried to throttle the guy. The cops had to haul him off, threaten him with arrest. Then he jumped back into his car and tore off. No shape to be driving anywhere.
Got his home address?
Not yet. I've got the sister-in-law's address, where the 2 little kids are. Tell you the truth, I've been stalling. I hate these kind of things as much as you do. I don't want to go over there.
I know. I'll go.
Hello.
Michelle Appleby? I'm Peggy Delaney, a columnist for the Toronto Tribune.
I know, I recognize you.
Oh, I wonder if I could talk to you for just a moment.
I'm not Michelle Appleby. I'm her next-door neighbor, but I don't think so. Well, she's been swamped by reporters all day.
Who is it, Joan?
It's that Peggy Delaney, Michelle, you know, from the
Toronto Trib. I know it's a terrible time, but if you'd be kind enough to just give me a couple of minutes.
It is a terrible time.
How are the kids?
Traumatized. I've had a counselor with them most of the day. So, you write those columns?
Uh-huh. And I'd just like to ask a couple of questions about their dad.
I'll tell you something. They should bring back the death penalty. Give women some real protection. Put that in your column.
Shh, the kids will hear. They're just in the other room, playing with my daughter. Joan's right, though. There's a war going on.
Oh? Between who?
Come on in, then.
So, I understand she had a court order for him to stay away.
Those things aren't worth the paper they're written on.
That's what I mean. There's a war going on. How many murdered women would you say have had those kind of orders?
Quite a few. So you knew there'd been a history of trouble between them?
Of course. Even after I divorced my husband, I kept in touch with her. She was the sweet, naive type.
Battered woman syndrome. She probably didn't start off like that.
And you were married to?
Lance, his brother. So I take her out and we talk. When she told me what was going on, it didn't surprise me. Not really. I tried to give her the best advice.
Michelle! Michelle!
Oh, God, no.
Where are the kids?
You can't come in here.
Are the kids here, Michelle? I need to talk to them.
Well, you're not going to. You're drunk. Get out.
Who's this?
Lance.
Come on, Michelle. I've got to. I know they're here. I've got to tell them. It wasn't his fault. It just wasn't his fault.
For Christ's sake, don't you think they've had enough for one day? Now get the hell out or I'll call the cops.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus!
If you have any feeling for those children, get out!
Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Go on. Go. Just do as she says.
It just wasn't... It wasn't his fault.
Then whose fault was it, Lance? God's?
I'm going after him.
You see what I mean? It's a war!
Lance, wait up.
Who are you?
Promise not to knock my block off? Oh, okay, sorry. Bad choice of words.
I can't.
Shh, it's okay. You'll be okay. There's no way you should be driving, you know.
Who the hell are you?
Well, for openness, I'm sober enough to drive. That's my car there. I'm Peggy Delaney. I'm a reporter.
Just my luck, eh?
Come on. Leave your car here. You're almost out on your feet. Let me drive you home.
I want to talk to those kids.
I know. That's my car there. The trick is to remember where you left your car the next morning.
I'll remember. This is a problem of yours, is it?
There's been a few times. I've decided it might be better to call a cab. That's only being smart.
Uh-huh.
Did you see your brother? Did they let you talk to him?
A bit. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Did he have anything to say?
Anything to say? Not really. No, not really. They'd shot him up with drugs, you know. Sedated him.
Uh-huh.
Only nothing worked. He was still talking away. Nothing made sense. He was way up there. He was flying.
There you go. Your place.
Thanks.
Thanks for not throttling me.
What?
I heard you took exception to a TV interviewer earlier today.
I lost it.
No, you didn't. Anyone would have felt the same way. You didn't lose it. Lance, I'm trying to get a handle on this. Help me, please? Do you have any idea what tipped your brother over? I mean, being angry, enraged, it's one thing, isn't it? But where he ended up, that's a whole different country. And it happens a lot. I'd say we report women murdered by estranged husbands, boyfriends, one every couple of months.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea at all what was going on in your brother's mind?
No, I don't.
Lance, you said it wasn't his fault. What did you mean?
Look, I gotta get some sleep. Good night.
Make you feel better?
What?
After selling newspapers on the back of this mess for a few days, to come to the funeral.
No. How about you?
No. Lance isn't here.
No, he isn't.
You'd think he'd be here.
Yeah.
I wonder why. Hi there, bartender.
Oh. Hi. And chief bottle washer. Just doing up some glasses.
It's slow in here.
Yeah, right now. We get the after 5 crowd.
Uh-huh.
What can I get you?
Gilby's, double, on ice straight up.
A woman who knows what she wants.
You weren't at the funeral.
Nope. Wanted to be, but I just couldn't. Here you go.
Thanks. How come?
Because I didn't trust myself. You know, to not fall apart, that kind of thing.
Right. I understand.
No, you don't.
I guess not.
Thanks for the ride the other night.
Okay. How you doing, anyway?
Oh, I don't know. Okay. One day at a time, I guess. That's what they say, eh?
Yeah. You did find your car the next day.
Yeah.
And how are the kids? Are they still at Michelle's?
They're not good. Not so good. No, they're at their grandparents' now.
Did you ever get to tell them what you wanted to the other night? That it wasn't their father's fault?
No. And I won't. It was stupid. They're just kids. Would have confused them, screwed them up even more.
I'm an adult. You can tell me. What is it, Lance? Why wasn't it his fault? You have to tell someone, don't you?
Because it was mine. It was my fault.
But you weren't there.
No, I wasn't there. Oh, Jesus. I gotta get out of here for a few minutes.
Can you just leave?
Yeah. Eddie, back there, he'll cover.
Can I come with you?
Yeah.
I haven't sat in a park for a long time.
I sit in the one near my place all the time.
Do you? Want one?
No. My brother. Teddy. He was the baby in our family. Always looked up to me for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't always a fill-in bartender. I owned my own club not that long ago. The Hornet's Nest.
Up on Mount Pleasant?
That's right.
I think I've bent my elbow in there once or twice.
That was my place. Opened in '86. Lost it in '94.
Recession?
Divorce.
Oh.
Michelle. You met her, right? She cleaned me out.
How'd you manage that?
Because I kept the club. 100%. Gave her everything else. The house, cottage, investment fund. Because the club was my livelihood, you see. I needed the club to survive. Then, it started. Over Jan. Our daughter. I thought we'd agreed on joint custody, and then Michelle filed papers. She said I'd molested my daughter.
Oh, Jesus.
I fought her. Lawyers, expert witnesses. And lost the club. Everything doing it. And, at the end of the day, it didn't matter, because the finding was inconclusive. That was the judgment. They could not determine conclusively whether I was or was not a sexual pervert. I never touched my daughter. I can only see her when there's a child care worker present. I'm afraid to hug her. touch her. And now, my own daughter won't look me in the eye.
Lance, I'm sorry. Lance, I don't understand what this has to do with your brother.
Because the injustice of it killed me. And I became poisonous. I knew Teddy had been pushing his wife around for years. Not a lot, but he didn't seem too serious. I didn't want to interfere. To tell you the truth, I didn't even want to know. I was over to his place over a year ago now. Her face was out to here. Eye closed. This was after Michelle had taken me to court for molestation. And Teddy told me, he said, I just needed to smarten her up. And I was so full of hurt and anger at anything in skirts, I said, I'm sure she deserved it, Teddy. And then, a couple of nights ago, the night before he killed his wife, he came over to my place. He said he was afraid he was going to do something bad. He was going over there because he had been ordered by the court by this time to stay away. And he was going to do something bad. And I was on my way out to talk to this guy about a partnership in a club, so I just kind of brushed him off. I said, don't give her the satisfaction, buddy. And I left him there. I left him there.
So it was your fault, too.
Oh, God. I could have kept him with me. Talked to him. Done something. I was so full of my own wreckage. I turned away. For years, you know. For years. I let my sister-in-law down.
You've been listening to My Brother's Keeper, the latest episode of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Featured in the cast, you heard Kyra Harper as Peggy, Katerina Scarsone as Amber, J.W. Carroll as Nick, John Stalker as Bernie, William Colgate as Charlie, Daniel DeSanto as Wedge, Randy Hewson as Lance Appleby, Angela Guy as Michelle Appleby, and Fern Downey as Joan. The music was composed and conducted by Milan Kinlica. The recording engineer was Greg DeClute, with sound effects by Drago Grandich. The associate producer was Leanne McDonald. Our coordinating producer is Barry Morgan. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell, the executive producer of The Mystery Project. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening. Hi, gang. Bob Boving here for The Mystery Project, with the next installment of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. Peggy has found that having her daughter Amber come from the West Coast to live with her is not the simple pleasure she had anticipated. And the arrival of Amber's friend, Wedge, does a lot more than just add another place at the dinner table. Episode 5 of Peggy Delaney, The Wrong Place, starring Kyra Harper in the title role.
Hello there. You've reached Peggy Delaney, Toronto Tribune. If you have something confidential you want to pass on, just leave your name and number. The walls have ears. I'll get back to you. If you're calling to give me fulsome, unqualified praise for my columns, please feel free. If you're calling to scream at me, fascist, communist, cop-loving, cop-hating, pro-lesbian, anti-lesbian, crypto-Bay Street swamp pig, go for it. After all, this is a quasi-democracy.
Mom, call me. It's important. 653-2817. Just so you know, that's like, a police station.
another Peggy Delaney special for you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Hi there, Charlie. Mr. Bauer. A coffee for me. Oh, you bet.
So how's Nick?
Nick is fine. You've been here all day?
Nope, just all afternoon. I needed to get away from the phones and all the office chitty-chat. The last couple of weeks have been a mess. I'm way behind. This is my third false start on a column.
So, I take it your domestic crisis is still ongoing. Amber's ex-boyfriend, Wedge, right?
She breaks off with the guy. It's all over as far as Amber's concerned. Whatever it was. She comes down here to visit me. I just get her settled into this school. We have her for one term anyway. When suddenly this hulking 16-year-old from Vancouver shows up. Penniless, bummed out, and desperate. Saying he can't live without my daughter. I didn't know what he might do.
Could have been a psycho.
Well, he could have been. As it turned out, he was actually kind of a nice kid. God never shuts up. Loves to talk about all kinds of abstract notions. Talk your ear off. Kind of a dreamer. I'm dumb as a post when it comes to real life.
Unlike the rest of us.
Right. Amber's not in love with him anymore, but she still loves him, you know. She believes in him. She said, he'll get his act together, Mom.
And then he disappears.
Mm-hmm. For 16 days now. And I feel like the Wicked Witch of the West because I tried to hurry things up. Pass your plate over here.
Oh, thanks, but I'm really full.
Oh, no, you're not. Come on.
Give up, Wedge. She won't.
Okay, I give up. Thanks.
Terrific, huh?
Yeah, it's really good, really. And thanks for inviting me over, too.
Better than eating a Young Street pizza and hanging out at the hostel?
Oh, yeah.
Good. That's good. By the way, your parents phoned again today.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't tell me.
I just did.
Oh.
They're getting a little nutsy. They really want you to go home, Wedge.
I wouldn't pay too much attention to them. They're the nutsy type.
Wedge, maybe you should call them. You said you would, didn't you? It's not fair that Mom has to talk to them all the time.
I'll call them tomorrow. I'll put their minds, such as they are, at ease. I'll tell them I'm learning lots about life.
You're missing lots of school, Wedge. You could lose your whole year.
God, think of the tragedy of that.
Forget it then.
Well, it seems to me finishing up school is a lot better choice than a hostel in Toronto and that part-time job I got you with Bernie. Anyway, there's a plane ticket over there in the bureau. Your parents asked me to pick it up at this travel agency.
What?
His parents ordered it. I didn't. I'm just trying to help out.
You didn't tell me about that either.
When's it for?
This Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Well, what do you think, Wedge? Do you think it makes sense?
You tell me.
I guess you've already got the ticket. I'll be back by Christmas if you still want to see me. You know, like hang out with the rest of the gang and stuff like that.
Stuff like that. Sure a long way from where we once were, eh, Amber?
Wedge.
Anyway, yeah, sure. Everything's cool anyway. Is that some pie I see out there?
And then, the next day, he disappeared. Amber's half out of her mind. And she thinks I was in cahoots with his parents.
Well?
Well. God, I should check my messages and get home. Amber wants to drive around again tonight looking for him.
Ooh, the joys of being a parent, eh?
Mom, it's been 7 hours. Why didn't you check your messages?
I know, I'm sorry. So what is it? Why couldn't you tell me over the phone? Amber? What's he done?
It's awful.
What?
I know, Wedge. He wouldn't do anything like that.
Like what? What?
They say he damaged some property, but it's not true.
What property?
This synagogue. But it's not true, Mom. It's just not true.
What kind of damage?
Spray paint.
You mean swastikas? You mean kill the Jews? That kind of thing?
He wouldn't do that.
He just wouldn't. Mom, you've got to help him.
What the hell is that?
God, they're back. Skinheads. They've been marching around outside all day. They're calling for Wedge like he's some kind of hero.
How do they know he's here? How do they know his name?
Because it's in tonight's Tribune. Look, with a picture and everything. Your own paper printed Wedge's name.
Well, we have to, honey. Oh, God. Somebody made a mess of that synagogue, didn't they?
Just listen to them. Can't somebody stop them?
What do you know? It is Peggy Delaney, isn't it?
Could be.
Of the Toronto Tribune, sure it is. I hate your bourgeois paper. Love you.
Well, same here. I know you from somewhere, don't I?
George Cooper Strong, commander of the Aryan Peace Brigade.
Of course. You look like a banker without your armband, George.
It's right here, in my pocket. Thought I recognized you. I saw you come in. If for some reason the police hate demonstrators actually coming inside the police station.
Hi.
Hi there.
George, this is my daughter, Amber. Amber, this is George Cooper Strong, commander of the Aryan Peace Brigade.
Aryan Peace Brigade?
The cops will spot me in a minute. Can I sit down?
You can explain what's going on.
It's a show of support for Wedge Thompson, a hero of our race, whose real crime is confronting Jew disinformation on the legitimate work camps of the Third Reich.
Oh, God.
A subject you really should investigate in your column, Peggy.
Do you know Wedge?
Well, of course.
He does not. That's a lie. Wedge wouldn't have anything to do with him. Don't even talk to him, Mom.
Amber, I am just...
You're trying to make things worse.
As a matter of fact, I've known Wedge for some, I don't know.
You have not!
Whoa. Look, I'm not saying Wedge Thompson is a member of the Aryan Peace Brigade. Of course he's not. No. I met him at Horst Werner's place. You know, of course, our famous persecuted Horst Werner. He took young Wedge under his wing. I am sure that Horst will affirm
I'm going.
this.
To the bathroom.
Amber!
You know, you really should write a column about Wedge and his friend Horst Werner. I'd be pleased to help. Here's my number. And, I've just been spotted by two of Toronto's finest. Time to beat a strategic retreat. Back outside. Be sure to call me.
Maybe I will.
Thanks a lot, Mom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Wedge, you know what the deal is. You've been released under my recognizance. You have to stay at our place until the Crown decides whether to charge you with inciting hatred or leave it at public mischief and vandalism. And in the meantime, you can't leave town.
Uh-huh.
Funny how that worked out, huh?
Mom, he didn't have anything to do with it.
I know. I'm just...
I don't blame you. I'm in a mess.
Yes, you are.
They fingerprinted him and everything. It's so unfair. They wouldn't even listen to him.
What happened to the side of your face, Wedge? Cops?
No.
He should go to the hospital.
I don't want to. I'm all right, okay?
Okay.
So, who poked you?
Just... these guys who jumped me last night.
Who were?
These two guys. They came running out of the dark, chased me up the street. The one guy yells, Jewish Defense League. The other guy slugs me. I fall down. They kick me a couple times. Drag me over to this office by this synagogue. A rabbi, they called him rabbi. He questioned me for a long time. I tell him I don't know anything, and then he calls the cops.
So, wrong place at the wrong time, then?
Yes.
So, what were you doing? I mean, you're in North York in the middle of the night. And while we're at it, where have you been the last couple of weeks?
We've been looking all over for you.
Have you?
What do you think, dork?
Oh.
You weren't sleeping over at Covenant House? You quit work at Bernie's? We didn't know where you were.
I met some people. They had this squad in this abandoned warehouse. I was living there.
Oh, God. I told you, Mom.
But the police came in last night and kicked us out. So I went with this other guy up to his mother's place. She said he could stay, but not me. I didn't know where the hell I was. North York? There was just all these houses. They all looked the same. The streets all looked the same. It was dark. I was trying to find my way back to Young Street, then, like I said, these guys, they wouldn't listen to anything I said.
We will. Won't we, Mom?
Yes.
Mom will help us. She's real good at stuff like this. Aren't you, Mom?
I'll try.
As you can see, we're leaving the synagogue just as it is for now.
It's sickening. I mean, to see it for real up close.
These people, they want us to scurry around and sandblast these walls, repaint the doors, pretend nothing happened, and keep our mouths shut, in the hope that it won't happen again. In truth, some of our own people would prefer to do just that. Why stir up any more trouble, they say. How can our history repeat itself here? How? It's ridiculous. Ignore them. They'll go away. Others, we're not so sure. We prefer to advertise this thing, at least for a few days, and to defend ourselves, and to pursue, and to prosecute, and to scream out our rage from the rooftops. Here, look at this one.
Hitler was right.
Eloquent in its simplicity, isn't it? It burns through all arguments, all civilization.
Rabbi, that kid you caught the other night, the one being charged with being part of this?
Yes.
How did you catch him in the first place? It was about 2 in the morning, wasn't it?
We had information. Never mind how. That there was going to be an attack on another synagogue. We were watching there. Nothing happened. A group of us returned here and surprised about 5 of them in the act.
And the one you caught, this kid, you questioned him for almost 2 hours, didn't you? Why did you think he was one of them?
Why?
Yes, he wasn't a skinhead, was he? I mean, he didn't yell Nazi epithets at you, did he?
No.
Rabbi Epstein, I should have told you this right away. I'm not here for a story. This is personal. I know this kid, Wedge Thompson, and I really believe you've made a mistake. He was just passing by. He's a friend of my daughter's. He's visiting from Vancouver. He was lost, that's all. He was looking for Young Street.
He kept saying he didn't know anything about it.
Well, he didn't.
And he kept saying he was sorry.
What?
Over and over. He was just passing by. He didn't know anything. He was sorry. He was just passing by. He was sorry.
He was scared. Who wouldn't be? You held him for 2 hours. He was kicked in the head.
He was with the others. They all took off, running, scattered. He was the one we caught.
It just looked like that. He was running because he didn't know who you were. He thought he was going to be killed.
I don't think you heard me.
I didn't?
Defend, pursue, prosecute. He was one of them.
Cinderella cleaning. We're not here for a long time, but we're here for a clean time. That's right. What kind of spots? From a parrot. Well, I don't know. I've never run into that one before. We can try. Yeah, just give me your address. Okay. Right, I'll have someone there first thing tomorrow. We'll be there. Thanks for calling. Well, thank you. A parrot.
Hi, Bernie.
Well, look who's here.
You wouldn't believe what's been going on the last couple of days. I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Okay.
The good news is we found Wedge.
Oh, great.
Uh-huh. The bad news is we found him in jail. He's been charged with being one of those cretins who spray-painted Beth Samuel the other night. His name was in the paper. Did you read about it?
No.
Well, he didn't do it. It's just a big screw-up. You know Wedge. But that numbskull, George Cooper Strong, Aryan Peace Brigade?
Oh, yeah.
He's complicating everything, trying to get some free publicity. And I was just over talking to this Rabbi Epstein from Beth Samuel. He won't budge on the charges, so it's this huge, incredible mess. God, All Amber's mother's instincts have come to the fore. She's like this 15-year-old lioness. Wedge's dad arrives tomorrow. I've already got him a lawyer, but we'll need you as a character witness.
Okay, whoa.
Well, what? What is it? Bernie?
Well, it's just... You know when he quit work here?
Yeah, you said he just didn't show up one day.
Yeah, I know, but there was a little more to it than that.
Like what?
Just the fact that I'm gay, that I'm located right here in the middle of the gay village, that all my cleaners are gay. I wondered if it was going to be kind of a cultural shock for a kid like Wedge, you remember?
But I explained all that to him. He was all right with it, wasn't he?
Yeah, sure, for a while. And then I began to wonder if he was. Then, well, I knew he wasn't.
When?
The day he left. He said he could no longer associate with degenerates.
Oh. You didn't tell me that.
No, well, he was Amber's friend. She still loves the guy. And anyway, after he disappeared on her, it seemed beside the point.
I'm surprised.
I was surprised.
So, what do you think?
I don't know what to think. But given all this neo-Nazi business, the word does have a kind of a ring to it, doesn't it? Degenerate. Now, is that part of Wedge's vocabulary or somebody else's?
Thank you for agreeing to see me, Mr. Werner.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Of course, I'm unable to speak directly about my ongoing court case. Other than that, I'm quite pleased to discuss anything you might wish.
So, the Holocaust as hoax business. It must be quite lucrative. This is a lovely place.
It's adequate for a bachelor.
But you have staff. Do they live here?
Colleagues, fellow historians, students, intellectuals. Sometimes they do, yes. But I'll tell you, the Holocaust business is much more lucrative to Jews than to anyone else. Israel itself wouldn't exist as it is today without the fantasy of the Holocaust. Western guilt built Israel and defends it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not so much interested in the cosmic picture today, Mr. Werner. What do you know about George Cooper Strong?
Other than that he's an idiot, you mean?
Where is he?
Well, perhaps I speak a little harshly. He has the sickness.
What sickness is that?
The Führer sickness. That's what I call it. They all dream of being the next Führer. Little boys.
Well, speaking of which, did you hear about that 16-year-old kid, Wedge Thompson, who was arrested the other night for the attack on Beth Samuel Synagogue?
Yes. One of George's, do you suppose?
Well, strangely enough, I actually called Strong today, had a long talk with him, and he says the kid is one of yours. He says he met Wedge here on 2 occasions. Any comment?
Yes, I have a comment. He's trying to connect me to this crime in order to complicate my legal situation, and thereby eliminate me. And do you know why? Because he thinks there's some great leadership struggle going on. He thinks he's involved in a coup. The man is dangerous because he lives in a dream world.
And Wedge Thompson?
There's no law that prevents a man from taking on bright and inquisitive students, is there? But this particular young man? No. He broke the law, didn't he?
So they say. Which makes him a liability, doesn't it?
Does it? Now, what else would you like to discuss?
Have you got them?
Right in my hot little hands.
God, you've got great connections with the cops, Nick.
Yeah. We can't copy these tapes. We can't acknowledge we've even seen them. And I have to have them back to my buddy over at headquarters within the hour.
These are the right ones, huh? Police video surveillance of Horst Werner's last court appearance?
Yeah. The demonstration's outside. See? Same old thing. Jewish Defense League, Aryan Peace Brigade, assorted crazies.
There's George Cooper Strong, pretending to be a faithful supporter of Werner's. What a can of worms. Wait a minute. There. Go back.
What?
Just go back a bit. The camera pans so fast. I think? Oh, God.
What?
See that tall kid with the long black hair standing in the crowd? That's Wedge Thompson.
Hi, Mom.
Hi. Is Wedge here?
Uh-huh.
Hi, Peggy.
Oh, what's the matter, Sammy? Are you hungry?
He shouldn't be. I just fed him. I think he's neurotic.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to see neurotic, Wedge?
What do you mean?
What's wrong?
I'm sorry, honey. I'm really sorry. I just saw some police surveillance tapes of the Aryan Peace Brigade at Horst Werner's trial.
Why?
Werner came out of the courthouse. He crossed the street to talk to Strong, and there was our Wedge, big as life, standing right behind Strong.
No. Wedge?
And Werner reached out and patted Wedge's cheek like a little pet spaniel.
That's not true. Wedge.
Amber, he was there. I saw him. It's true. Right?
It's true.
Oh, my God.
So tell me, Wedge, did you sign up here, or were you a fascist before you came?
No!
I can't believe this. I can't.
Amber, I'm...
Shut up, will you? Just...
What happened, Wedge?
I just felt like I wanted to die, that's all. Amber, I knew even before I came down here I couldn't have you. But I just had to come anyway, to torture myself or something. I didn't have anything else. Talk to me, Amber. Can't you talk to me, please?
And
I just felt so lost, you know? I couldn't go back home. I couldn't go anywhere. And then these guys I met, they let me stay at their place. I knew what they were. I'm not stupid. I knew right away. But I didn't want to think. I just wanted to party, get drunk, wasted, you know? They were just shooting off their mouths. And then I met George Cooper Strong. And then I met Horst Werner. And he said I had it all wrong. He showed me that it was the values of our society, Jews and queers and degenerates of all kinds, that were screwing everything up. Oh. It wasn't me that was screwed up. It was the world I was trying to live in.
And you believed that?
It felt good to believe it. It made me feel better than before. It was something to believe in, wasn't it?
And the night you were caught?
Some of Strong's guys picked me up. I didn't even know where we were going at first, what they were gonna do.
How could you just shut your brain off? How could you hate people you don't even know and...
I'm trying to explain! I followed them up to the synagogue. They were already painting this huge red swastika. It was like blood running down the door. And I stood there. Frozen. Frozen. I couldn't believe I was there. I couldn't believe I was part of this. I felt sick. And then I heard all this shouting. Everybody was running away. I started to run too. I wanted to run away from everybody in the world.
I don't know you at all, do I?
Yes, you do.
No, I believed in you. I tried to understand everything you were going through, even when I didn't, because I felt responsible. And because I really cared for you. You want to run away from everyone in the world, do you, Wedge?
Only because I felt ashamed.
You scare me, Wedge.
Amber, why don't you spend the night at Bernie's? And tomorrow I can arrange some other accommodation for Wedge. Okay?
Yes.
You have been listening to The Wrong Place, the latest episode of Peggy Delaney by James W. Nichol. In the cast, Kyra Harper was Peggy. Katerina Scarsone was Amber. J.W. Carroll was Nick. John Stalker was Bernie. Daniel DeSanto was Wedge. William Colgate was Charlie. Simon Reynolds was George Cooper Strong. Jack Newman was Rabbi Epstein. And Guy Bannerman was Horst Werner. The music was composed and conducted by Milan Kimlicka. The recording engineers were John McCarthy and Drago Granic. Sound effects were by Matt Wilcott and Anton Zabo. Leanne McDonald was the associate producer. The program was produced and directed in Toronto by Bill Howell, the executive producer of the Mystery Project. I'm Bob Boving, thanking you for listening.